Welcome everybody back to Monster Hunter World. Do you like our sick pose? There's that greatsword, but you also might notice that our greatsword is different. We have a different greatsword this time. So between episodes, after we took down the great Jaggers and we had that little hiccup, I actually did a couple things. So the main thing that you notice is that I upgraded our greatsword. So running all the way to the armory, the big thing is I already organized our weapons in order that we're using them. So if you want an idea of how we're going to use weapons in order, it'll be greatsword, dual blades, hammer, shield and sword, switch axe, insect glaive, charge blade, longsword, and back to greatsword. So that's what we're looking at. I've changed my armor slightly. The thing we have changed is I actually got different gloves. I got the bone mail gloves because these have slugger. Slugger is not hugely important depending on the weapon that you use, but having extra KO power of 20% is pretty nice, especially when we end up using something like the hammer or even like the switch axe or something that has a lot of stun. Technically the greatsword would work as well, so it's a good thing. I fought the great Jaggers a couple more times, and the other thing you notice is that we have the Jaggers Blade 1, a little bit of green with 542 base attack. So this sucker is strong. That's important because that is going to dramatically affect the damage that we will be doing. So, getting into this, I know we're doing a lot of running around because the town's huge and kind of inconvenient. So after we took down the great Jaggers, we saw Pookie being blocked by a piece of Zora Magdaros. So now we have to speak to the provisions manager.
Oh, you are too good to me.
Well, Fiver, is it true? You're going to help us rebuild the camp? That is excellent news. I hope you're as good as they say you are. If so, we'll have plenty of work for you. After all, the Commission studies lots of things, not just the Elder Dragon you came here with. Maintaining and improving the base is a full plate of tasks in itself. Can't study anything without a proper HQ after all. The resource center is here is in charge of divvying up all that work and making sure it gets done. So back to business, your job is to establish a camp. Go on an expedition into the ancient forest, find a viable campsite, and make sure it's safe. If any monsters have decided to do any camping in your spot, you'll need to chase them off.
Don't let me down.
Got it? The bounty is for establishing the camp. So, this is our next main mission. So whenever we booted into the ancient forest, this is going to go to the resource center, which I will do myself. So we have to go establish a new camp, which will allow us to have a different drop-in point whenever we go on a quest. So, going over the resource center, this is huge. When we beat the great Jaggers, we got a thing called the armor sphere that we used to upgrade aspects of our armor, the defense. Bounties allow you to do the same thing, but also give you research points. That way, like, whenever you eat at the canteen, you can use money or points to increase your stats for said mission. So, research points are fairly nice. You get research points by doing bounties or collecting tracks of said monster or breaking parts off said monsters. So, since we just have bounties, we might as well do these. Research progress, complete the request in the ancient forest. We're going to go there anyways. Mining outcrops, we're going to have to mine. Pulling piles, might as well. Pulling piles, might as well. Honey, might as well, and large monster hunt, which we're going to end up doing, fine. And all of these give us an armor sphere to make our armor stronger. Critical bounty is what our story mission is. You'll get a voucher, more research points, and it's just secure the camp. Limited bounties we don't have access to yet, but those are kind of like rotating weekly quests you can do to kind of get extra rewards on top of doing actual bounties. So pretty nice. Investigations. As you get research points or anything else, you'll get investigations to kind of, instead of being optional quests, you'll get more rewards. So for this case, Vespoids are little annoying insects that we might see in the ancient forest that are kind of irrelevant. They're kind of like Jaggers or mini monsters that don't really do a whole lot for you. But this one, we have capture a great Jaggers. We have not captured any monster yet. We'll be going over that when we finally have a quest to do that. But these all have different conditions and rewards. We have 30 minutes instead of 15 minutes to do this. We have to be Hunter rank 2 or higher. We can only have 4 players max, but we're playing solo, so that's irrelevant to me. Faint 3 times, time expires, or you kill the monster. Capture is very unique in the fact that if you kill the monster, you automatically fail the quest. You have to capture it, and you can only capture it when it pretty much goes to its nest to sleep, or on your mini map when you collect enough tracks has the skull icon. And you'll get 3 silver rewards. There are bronze, silver, gold, and there's a reward above that that we'll be going over way later, so I wouldn't even worry about that one right now. But this will give us pretty decent rewards. It's a way to get extra materials if you're like, oh man, I want to craft more of the Great Jaggers armor. Well, here's your mission to get more materials from said monster that you're hunting. You can't control what monster hunts you get. It's kind of random, so that's kind of a downside with RNG. But I mean, the game's kind of RNG when you're collecting materials anyways.
Expedition underway. Meet me at the gate.
So before we go on that expedition, we're going to talk to these people around town that we didn't talk to before.
Good to see you.
Ah, Hunter, since you've established yourself as a reliable presence, here, I'd like to make a little request. When investigating large monsters, you can either slay or capture them. Naturally, both have their scientific merits, but frankly, well, it would be better for our long-term research to receive a live specimen that we can later return to the wild. So if you capture your quarry alive, you will be commended for it and receive greater rewards. Commission rules. How about it? Capture your target instead of slaying them, and you'll be making a great contribution to our efforts here. So, he didn't actually give us a quest, but he references the capture mechanic of instead of killing a monster, you can capture. Let's see, we've got this person over here.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello, Fiverr. We're all ready to open our Tavern and Gathering Hub for Celestial Pursuit. At the Gathering Hub, you can meet up with other hunters and embark on quests together. To find the Celestial Pursuit, just look up. See that ship atop Astera that looks like it's about to sail off to the stars? That's it. You can get up there by taking the lift. Please come visit as soon as you get the chance. So the Gathering Hub is kind of where you can hang out with your friends if you're playing online with a session of people. Kind of nice, but since we're playing single player, we will probably never ever go to the Celestial Pursuit / Gathering Hub. Alright, Commander.
How are you feeling?
So, Hunter, have you gotten used to how things work around here? New world, new rules. It's something you have to get used to. But you will get used to it. You have to. Your life's counting on it, not to mention others as well.
Huh.
Look around you. Everyone here, strange or crazy as they may seem, they've all crossed the sea just like you, and they've all carried out their duties. They looked the new world in the eye and realized the old way of doing things wouldn't cut it. Didn't stop them though. They had conviction. Do you have conviction, Hunter? You should get to know your colleagues. Maybe some of the craziness will rub off on you. Alright. We've talked to a couple people. There's some more people we can talk to throughout town, but we're not going to talk to them yet. We're going to go on this expedition. So expeditions, I believe, are brand new to Monster Hunter World.
If you want to go on an expedition, open your world map and choose your destination. For this expedition, we need to head to the ancient forest. We can expand expeditions as we delve further into the new world. Pretty good incentive to explore, right?
Alright. Oh, that's Astera. Whoops. Okay. So, expeditions, as far as to my knowledge, are new to the Monster Hunter franchise. So, normally you could only explore a map when you're on a quest with a time limit. Expeditions actually give you unlimited time. Over time in the field, your stamina cap will diminish. So the longer you're out in the field, you'll have less stamina, unless you bring the rations to re-up your stamina cap. But yes, this gives us a chance to just freely explore all of the ancient forest at whatever leisure we want. We can hunt whatever's here or anything else. Like I always say, research is neat, but first we eat.
Or if you're lost, open up your map or use your scout flies to track me.
Thanks, Field Team Leader. You have a barbecue split handy.
Whenever you leave
Just
the
grill
base
some raw
without
meat up
setting
golden
for
brown
rest,
and it'll raise your
go on
stamina
an
level.
expedition. There's
Dude.
no time limit or cap on how
Dude.
many times you're allowed to faint.
I just explained that.
Means you can explore to your heart's content.
Hit circle to take the meat off the flame. Remember to keep an eye on it. Don't let it burn. You should be able to get some raw meat from hunting Eptanoth. So that's a mechanic we're never really going to use. It's... what is it? Yeah, I don't think I can do it in camp. So I'll show this like one time, and I don't think we actually have any meat. So we'll kill one of these things and show it off just because it is a mechanic in the game. So we'll at least show it. I did also grab more Jaggers prints to up our research level, but I'm not at max yet. Alright. Man, the Greatsword is so powerful for killing monsters. That was so sick. Okay, so we got raw meat. So for the barbecue spit, it's... I don't really like it.
Timing is The color of the meat and the song are clues. Oops, your timing was off. Guess you need to keep drilling your grilling.
So we'll try it one more time. We got a raw one. I took it off too early, so we'll try it one more time. And I took it off too late. If you get it just right, you'll get kind of like a well done steak, which is what you want. And what that does is allows you to eat it, and it'll 100% max out your stamina. But I don't really like that, because you can just use rations, or even the easy rations you get from quests to up your stamina. So it's honestly kind of not worth it. But oh look, a Piscine researcher. Howdy, Hunter. How's it hooking? Gotta say, there's no better way to spend the day than fishing. I'm the lucky guy the commission has put in charge of studying fish and fish-like creatures here in the New World. Well, let me tell you, I love fishing. I live for it. I fish in my sleep. I sleep with... I'd already caught all of the old world's fish, every last one, so when they offered me a job here, I accepted, hook, line, and sinker. Anywho, my life here can't be all work, so I've been looking for a chum who loves the lure as much as I do. What do you say, Hunter? Are you game? If you're interested, just give me a holler. I'd like to see what you're made of. Yep, so as he even says, we are allowed to fish. This is actually a bit more viable than the well done steak, if I'm being totally honest. So you just catch your lure, you just kind of watch it. And when it goes down like typical games, just hit circle, and that's all you do. You just hit circle and boom, there you go, wet fish. So that's really about it. You can get other bait, but even then, the base fishing rod is just fine. And then if I can show off our last other utility tool in our arsenal. Also look, the Great Jaggers. Hey, we found him. Nice. Let's see. And not those, they're moving. I want to find something a little bit easier to kind of deal with to show this off. Okay, here we go. So these flash flies that we hit last time, these can blind monsters. You are able to catch what the game calls endemic life. So with your slinger, you can equip the capture net, and you can just kind of lock onto something, and just like that, we got a flash fly. Our room in Astera, you can kind of decorate it with these things. I don't find any of these things to be overly useful, so I'm actually going to do this. I don't want them on my wheel at the bottom. That way I have to like excessively scroll to find items. So I'm going to turn off the net, turn off the fishing rod, and turn off the barbecue spit. We're going to leave the whetstone on because that we have to use to sharpen. So that is an item we do always want on our wheel at all times. So yeah, I will not really be doing any fishing unless we have like a little research quest to kind of do it. I will never be using the barbecue spit ever again, so don't really count on me using that again if you want to see that so bad, I guess, but I don't really know why you'd be heartbroken over that of all things. And the capture net, maybe we'll whip that out sometimes, but I'm not overly worried about it. So right now we only have enough research to show the Great Jaggers, but there are other monsters out here in the field if we find them. And the Great Jaggers isn't actually an aggressive monster, so he won't actually fight us unless we start attacking him. So I do want to collect these other footprints of this mysterious monster just to help with our current research, but I don't see where his footprints are. I see Great Jaggers. And even though we got the level up, it's still good to collect the prints because you can get investigations for it. So we'll still collect it, and getting more research points is always beneficial. So let's see. Here we go, here we go. More footprints, more mysterious ones. Although our research on this monster is taking a long time. But we'll pick these up. And we're kind of heading towards the next camp. There's other stuff in the field, but since they're not super relevant to us at the moment, we're not going to really worry about it. So now we can track the trail for this mystery monster, but we don't really want to fight him just yet, even if we do. Because you don't really get very many quest rewards if you fight a monster in the expedition, because you don't get the bonus rewards or anything else. The only materials you really get, that you honestly get, are just from carving the monster, which aren't overly beneficial. Hey. Well, hi there. Fancy meeting someone new out here. I'm the editor in charge of the field guide. It's my job to learn and disseminate as much as possible about the endemic life here. The endemic life here includes small animals, fish, basically anything that won't try to eat you, and I love them all to pieces. My research tasks are to capture, observe, study, verify, record, and play with any endemic life I find. I'm a busy bee. The new world is literally crawling with undiscovered specimens. I don't even know where to begin. I don't have enough hands.
Oh, yeah.
Enough hands. Oh yeah, what if you become my assistant? If you capture any endemic animals, you could even let them loose in your room for first-hand observation. Who could say no? But don't answer just yet. Think it over, then come see me again. I promise the little critters will bring you nothing but joy. So she explains the mechanic of when we capture the flashlight that we can decorate our room. But we found the field team leader. And by finding the field team leader, that means we have found the place to set up camp.
Well,
All right.
if we don't take care of that pest, the camp won't last a night.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yep, that is a Kulu Yaku. The scout device can guide you to a monster. And since we saw the Kulu Yaku, we can actually be trapped to it. So, since we're in an expedition and we can technically hunt the Kulu Yaku, we're not going to. Because as I mentioned, you don't really get many rewards from doing an expedition. So we're going to return and accept the quest formally. That way we're actually on a quest with a time limit that will give us more rewards towards what we want. So yeah, that was all we had to go in the field for. There is more of the ancient forest to explore, but we'll explore that as time goes on. There are 2 more camps to find, and we'll end up finding those, but I actually believe the other 2 are optional. They're not actually mandatory, but we'll be going over those at some point. So, but for now, let's turn in our research results if we got any on the Great Jaggers, and then accept the Kulu Yaku mission.
Try hard, will you?
Alright, so when we first looked at this, we barely had any info on the Great Jagger, but now we have more. We have research level 2. Now it shows us rewards. So these are all the items we can get from the Great Jaggers, and you see low rank rewards. Huh. I wonder what that means. I wonder if there's going to be a high rank. Future. But yes, getting another level would just tell us the rarity of getting those items. So like we don't know which one's more common. The Great Jagger is scale, hide, mane, or claw. More research will tell you which items are rarer or more common that you can get from him. So that's kind of what your research is all for. If you want just their physiology of where they're weak and what they're weak to, level 1. Pretty basic. We're going to post this new quest. Bird-brained bandit. The Kulu Yaku uses its dexterous forearms to carry objects. Left unchecked, it's liable to run off with crucial supplies. Step 1 of rebuilding a secure camp is hunting that thief. Yep, and we're going to hunt the Kulu Yaku. Unfortunately, because we can't set up the other camp, we cannot go there. We have to go from camp 1. And if you notice there, I used a voucher. This is going to double our money so we can just get more money and should give us a bit more drop rate of items. That way we'll get more items. If we do want to craft any piece of his armor, we'll be all set for that. So yeah. And now remember, if I mentioned last episode that we're going to use each weapon for 2 quests specifically. So this is our last quest of using the greatsword, and then we're going to transition to the next weapon next episode. So hopefully I can have another clean, solid run with the greatsword. Now, I never do it. Because we're on a quest, as I mentioned prior, there are free healing items in the supply box that I could have grabbed, but I'm so used to never grabbing them that it's something I don't personally do, but you can. And honestly, I recommend it because it allows you to save your items, to save them when on a quest where you might need the supply items and your actual healing items. So just because I don't grab them doesn't mean you shouldn't. I would highly recommend you grab them because they're free. I mean, it's like the joke. It's free real estate. Might as well go for it. Man, not having a lot of stamina is definitely a A little crippling. But we know the Kulu Yaku is in this direction, and once we find a couple of footprints, we should be able to start tracking him. Because we didn't get any level of his research, we cannot track him at all. Now he shows up on the map. That's why doing the expedition, I guess, technically would have been better because we would have hunted him. But since we know the general area in which he's located, if you just go to the right side of the map, and there we go. And we're getting research on him a bit faster. So our scout flies are going to track his trails that he leaves behind, allowing us to inevitably track him down. And he's leaving a lot of tracks. And he's leaving a lot of them. So we are going to try to maximize this bar just to get a level of research on him. So there is that. Now this just says hunt a Kuliyaku. That is interesting, where if you do get traps to be able to capture monsters, which like I said we'll be going over later, you wouldn't actually have to kill the Kuliyaku. You could actually just capture him in the end. So here we go. Now Kuliyaku is a more mobile monster, so he might be a bit harder to hunt. Still got him. Still got him. The greatsword is slow, so it is a little bit kind of weird to get used to, but he's already running away. Kuliyaku is very known for running away and being a little bit cowardice of a monster, so there is that. Alright. See how this goes. Oh, wait, no! He moved! He moved on me. And this is the problem with the greatsword, is that we're very open for attacks. Now, if you notice, when we are charging attacks, I do hit circle. That does allow us to charge. We still take damage, but we take reduced damage. Oh, I missed. And it allows us to tank through an attack and do the next level of charge. Oh, missed again. Not doing so well. Oh. Okay, so Kulu pulls out a rock. That sucks because if we hit the rock, we will reflect off of it. So it does make him significantly harder to attack. I'm trying to get the mount. But I keep missing that second strike. Come on. Ugh. Yeah, see, this is where my unfamiliarity with a weapon definitely comes into play. Because I'm not as familiar with the greatsword, this is a little bit harder to hunt. So this is proving to be a little bit more difficult, but we're not taking too much damage, so we're still fine. So yeah. But now we're in an area where we're actually going to have ledges, where if I hop off the ledge, I can get an aerial and hopefully get a mount and knock him down. If you do enough damage, he will drop the rock for defense. He will drop it. So there is that. There we go. Got him. Got him. Alright, now he's got to go for the mount. But we don't want to run out of stamina, because if you run out of stamina, you will fall off the monster. And you do not want to fall off. Alright, I think we're going to get it. We're going to get the mount. Or we're going to get the down. Come on. And he's down. Oh, and he's paralyzed. But, ooh. We would get paralyzed by that as well. And we do not want that. So we don't get the down. But we do get the stun. Got him. Got him. There's that tackle move that allowed us to go through his attack. We still took damage, as you saw, but we took reduced damage, and we still got to do our attack. I think the tackle still does damage, it just does such a small amount compared to the actual greatsword itself. And before we chase him, we will sharpen. So, get us back to green, hit our higher damage multiplier. Always important. Doing maximum damage is always the best thing in the game, so. And Kulu's actually almost dead. If you look on the mini-map, as with typical, we gather enough tracks that we actually see that he has the skull, so we know he is almost dead. And since he did get away, the scout flies will track him for us, and we have to climb up, because he's above us. And getting away. Like, actually legitimately getting away. Alright. Oh, perfect, perfect. Okay, so this room is unique. So, where is it? Or is it not this? Okay, so this room. We're not going to get Kulu with it, but there is some traps in the field. So these rocks with these red pits with the slinger one that we picked up, if you shoot it...
If you're clever, you use the slinger to distract monsters.
Yeah. And if Kulu was below that, he would have taken massive damage and he would have been downed. So it's always good to kind of keep an eye out on your environment to make sure you can get good utility out of what's around you to just to do even more damage. It's always fun hitting maximum damage. If you're not doing as much damage as you possibly can, the hunch is not quite the same if you're just doing minimal damage. You got to go for the max DPS. All right, so here we go. He's back over here, back in his little home. He's running away from us again. We're gonna kind of hit him. We're gonna kind of do like a hit strat. We're gonna shoot him red pits just to get some small damage on him. Hit him a little bit. And yeah, like I said, Kulu is very known for running away, so he's super annoying because it's just kind of tag. Oh, Kulu hit you or whatever. Now you got to chase him down because he's running away again. There is a mechanic I haven't gone over yet that we will be going over soon that would kind of not make this easier but would make it more interesting. But I don't want to go over that yet just because there's still so much that is being introduced to the game since we're still early on. And I don't want to just overload everything in the game with just explanation after explanation after explanation. So here we go. Come on, Kulu. Got him. Mount attacks are always awesome. Are we gonna hit him? Yeah. We defeated him. Look at that. That was a solid hunt with the greatsword.
You better report this to the commander.
Alright. Let's carve him. Look at the cool stuff we got. We'll go over the armor back in town and see if we got better armor to work towards, I guess. And I'd say that's still a successful hunt. That was our last hunt with the greatsword for a little bit, but I would say that still went really well. We did it. Oh yeah, and I didn't even mention it. We did change our Pelico's armor. Nothing changed. His weapon is still the same. It's just stronger, and his armor is... It changes his aesthetic, so he looks like a skeleton now, and all it did is increase his defense. It didn't give him like any abilities like our armor does or anything else. It just changes him aesthetically and makes him do a bit more damage, so nothing substantial. Milo just looks a little bit different. That's all it is. But now he looks more menacing because now he's got a skull on his head. Look at him. Look. He's so fierce. Eating a sausage. Nice. All right. Same rewards. We got some other random stuff, some bones, an armor sphere, just some cool utility stuff. We'll take it. It doubled our money. We didn't die. Every time you faint, it does lower your reward money. So if we would have died, I think one time it would have cut our money, I think, in half, which would have doubled it back to the original amount. So yeah. I didn't mention this. Those little green bugs, the Vigor Wasp, that kind of restored my health at one point during the hunt. That is Milo's support item. He can lay those down or bring them to us if we're in need of it. And the more he uses that item, he'll actually get more proficient at it, which increases the amount of health that it'll heal when he uses it on you. Very nice. Thanks for making sure the campsite is safe. We went ahead and got the camp all set up. It's yours to use as you like. And now that I know what you're made of, Fiverr, I hope I can talk you into taking jobs from me more often. Yep, a new camp is now available. Northeast Camp 11. The 11 just means of the sector of the map that it is located in. So yeah, we completed some stuff. We got new research results, but first we're gonna go check out the armor, and we will check out if there is a new weapon of the dual blades that we'll be using for the next hunt. I could look at the greatsword, but I'm gonna look at the weapon we're gonna use next. Obviously, if you are a greatsword main or that's something you want to stick with, I encourage to check the upgrade menu of the greatsword to see if there is a new version of it. So armor. We have the Kulu Yaku armor. There's what it looks like. We have fire resistance, not too bad. Fire resistance +6. Stamina surge. Stamina recovery speed plus 10% when we are recovering stamina. Pretty good. Pro Transporter. This hasn't come up yet. There are a couple quests where we'll have to kind of carry something, and that's what this ability is useful for. Increases your movement speed while transporting and reduces downtime on landings. Not really a good skill, so sorry, Van Braces, we're not going to use you. Item Prolonger. Item effect duration plus 10%. There are items that increase your attack, defense, stamina usage, and everything else. This ability will affect how long those effects last. Pretty good if you use a lot of items. Critical Eye. This is a huge ability that we're going to take a little bit of time to explain. So Critical Eye is one of the meta skills in the game. I would recommend this all day. So, Critical Eye at level 1 increases our affinity by 5%. Very minor, very minuscule amount. Remember, the affinity is our critical hit chance. Crits, obviously, in any other game, every game, does more damage. So 5% is very minuscule, but Critical Eye goes up to level 7. Affinity up by 40%. That's huge. Huge. If you couple that with abilities that raise your base affinity with anything else, that is ginormous. That is huge. So the Kulu Greaves we will definitely get, but it uses a Wing Drake hide. In the next episode, I will have a clip at the beginning of it showing how to get the Wing Drake hide and where to get it in the Ancient Forest, because that is where it's located. So I will be showing that off, but this is an item we want. If you ever want to keep track of items you do want, hit triangle for wish list and add it there. That way now when I hunt Kulu or Wing Drakes, I don't need to be like, okay, I need to get 2. Now it's in my wish list, so the second I get a Wing Drake hide, the game will remind me and be like, hey, you've actually got all that you need for that. So the pants we want, and going back up here, I want the health boost on the bone helmet. So we are going to get the bone helmet because health boost, and it's weaker, but we can upgrade it with armor spheres that we'll get. So we are finally changing our helmet. All right. And before we end this off really quick, we will switch to the dual blades immediately. That way we're prepped for next episode, and we're going to go to upgrade. So for dual blades, we actually have a new one. We have the Kulu Yaku, the Rending Breaks 1. Higher attack, green sharpness, but here's the big thing. Affinity base 15%, meaning using this weapon, 15% of our base attacks are going to be critical hits. Huge. Again, coupling that with Critical Eye, really important. So I'm going to add this to our wish list, and between episodes, I will be getting this and the Kulu Greaves for that Critical Eye and these dual blades. So we defeated Kulu Yaku. We set up a new camp. We have 2 items in our wish list that we want to go get, a new weapon and a new piece of armor. We also got a new piece of armor. So I will see you guys next episode when we go back, when we speak to the commander to find out what our next assignment is. So till then, take care, everyone.